Video, we are going to try to make something that looks like this. Okay, made by Mr. David. Okay, so that we can use this at the end of our animations. Yep. Right, how do we do that? Okay, we don't need this, so delete that. Yeah. Now, we do need some text. So add some text. Let's change the rotation so that it's standing up. And let's change the rotation so that it is facing us. So rotation X and rotation Z. So far, so good. Let's go down to the text properties, which is this A, and we want to center it. Okay, so let's center it there, and let's center it there. Okay, nice and easy. We've got our text. Now, the next thing to do is to write our text. So we need to go to edit mode for this. We need to go to edit mode. I'm making this in Blender. Okay, you can write whatever you want. Yes, of course. I'm making this in Blender. Now, that font isn't really a nice neon font. So I've emailed you some fonts, and these are quite nice ones. Yeah, so I've emailed you those. You can also go onto the web and find your own. Yeah. But there we go, I'm quite happy with that. I'm making this in Blender. Okay, so when we've typed our text, we can come out of edit mode back into object mode. Now, in geometry, we want to make it 3D. Okay, it's very flat at the moment. So if we do something like this, 0.2, now we have a 3D model. But that is also very thick. This is meters, okay? So we probably just want something like that, 0.02 meters, which is what? Which is 2 centimeters, yeah? That looks nice. That looks really nice. Right, okay, so now we can go to render view mode. And we can start to play about with the materials. So let's have a new material. We've done this before. But this time, we're not going to click on Use Node. We're going to click on Surface, and we want an emission. Okay, we want it to glow. And we can pick our color. I'm going to have a nice yellow. And let's remember this value. This value is important, so I'm going to make it a bit more memorable. 0.2. Yours can be any number, but you do need to remember it, okay? Because we need to use it a little bit later. Okay, and I'm going to change the strength. I want it a bit stronger, a bit brighter. There we go. We'll change that to 4. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, that's looking funky already. Now, up here, we have render properties, bloom. Okay, that's really going to make it glow. Yeah, look at that, it looks beautiful. We'll expand this, and we'll have a radius of 3. Okay, we don't want the glow to go too far. If we have 30, it glows everywhere. It's a very bright light. If we have 1, there's not much glow. So I recommend something like 3 or something like 4. Okay, up to you. Up to you. 3.5. Yeah. The color, I'm going to pick approximately the same color, and then I'm going to change it to the value that I remembered. Okay, so approximately the same. Intensity, we want to make it a bit more intense, so 0.2. That looks nice. Yeah, that looks nice. Right, okay, so far so good. Now, up until this point, our camera, where's our camera? Here it is, has been largely static. We played with Suzanne, yes, where we had a camera rotating, so we're going to do something very similar this time. So, an empty cube, and that goes right in the middle. And then our camera. Alt-G, and then Alt-R. Okay, and what that does, it puts our camera in the empty box. Okay, the same as last time. The camera's in the empty box. I've got my camera selected, so I'm going to select my empty box, my empty cube. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to parent them. Parent object. Make parent, I'm going to keep transform. Okay. Right, now it gets a bit tricky. So let's go ahead and save this. Save as, documents, let's save this as made by Mr. David. Yep. Let's go ahead and save that. I don't want that. There we go. Right. Okay, so now we're going to add a Bezier, whatever it's called. I can't see it very well, so immediately S and 6. Aha, there it is. Right, now, this is really useful for actually seeing where that Bezier curve is. Yeah? So we can see, well, I'm getting a bit lost. There we go. Yeah. So we can see that I've got my Bezier curve here. I need to go above. I'm going to grab it, and I want it to finish in front of here. So, again, I'm getting a bit dizzy. So let me go up there. I'm going to grab it. I want it to finish like that. Now, R for rotate. I'm going to rotate it, and again, grab it so that it finishes looking straight on at this. This takes a bit of practice. And there's no real shortcut here. We just have to play with it. But I've got something like that. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah. So the camera's going to start here, and it's going to come and move like that. Okay, so that's okay. Yeah. Now I'm going to take my cube, and like we did last time, I'm going to add some constraints. So it's going to follow. And it's going to follow the Bezier curve. Fixed position, follow curve. Then, my empty has my camera in it, so my camera also needs a constraint, because my camera is going to track to the text. Okay, there we go. Now, what I should be able to do when I go to empty, when I move this, there we go. There we go. So I can take it all the way back here, and with my frame on 1, I can right click on this, insert keyframe. Then I can bring this to approximately 100, up to you. Bring it to the front. Right click again, insert keyframe, and we should be good to go. Now I don't want to render all of this empty space, so I'm going to delete it at about 120. Excuse me. And if we do this, we can see that. That looks cool. Let's go into camera view so we can see it. And there we go. Now, there's a problem here. Not all of it is in the camera view. Yeah, well, we know how to fix that. We click on our camera, we go down to camera, and we can change this. We just need to zoom out a little bit. So if we zoom out to 35, now it's all in the frame. So now when we do it, we can do something like that. Very nice. Very nice. And that is that. We are now finished. We can render. So if I go back up to my scene, we can render as MPG. I don't want it in temp, I want it in documents. Accept that. Render, render animation, and we are good to go. And what you should get is something like this. This is a bit more advanced because this is kind of swooping in from above. Yeah, it's starting high and it's coming down low. Yeah, but the same sort of principle. I just played about with my Bezier curve. I made it a bit longer. I made it start high and come down and finish in front. Okay, it's just about practice. It's just about playing about with it. Yeah? Okay, so this will take another few minutes to render, but this video is finished.